What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for the week of April 12th through the 18th of 2021. Brian here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly grateful for you to be joining me for this video. I hope that you had a great weekend, positive, intensive, new moon in Aries. What are we defining? What are we pushing forward with? It's definitely that time, that energy right now. Very Martian week, but there's a lot of benefit coming, and Jupiter's making great aspects to Mars, to the Sun, and Mercury this week. We're going to see a Mercury-Sun conjunction, and we're also going to see Venus move into the home sign of Taurus on Wednesday. So it's a very big week. We're also going to see the Sun and Mercury square off with Pluto in Capricorn. There's a lot going down this week. We're in this defining time. We're in this action-oriented time of this real solid new energy of this new astrological year. With all these planets direct, it is forward progression time in a big way. So you want to be defining the life that you want to live, the values that you want to hold on to, that is sort of reaching the top. We do, as I'm filming this now, the moon just came into Taurus. We have an exalted Taurus moon and an exalted sun in Aries. I mean, this is definitely a time where we want to feel exalted and on the mission, on the path, on the journey to creating a life that really is self-empowering, but bringing benefit and bringing the abundance of a physical world into the rest of this year. And how can we reach higher? And how can we go into that space? That's what this week's all about. And it's in a time where time is moving so fast, right? So a lot of things are coming quick. A lot of information is coming quick. A lot of switching gears, switching lanes has been taking place in our own personal lives. And Venus coming into Taurus is going to slow things down just a little bit. And of course, Mars next week is going to ingress into Cancer. So there is definitely some slow down to the energies we've been feeling, where it's not going to be just lightning fast all the time. But with this forward energy and with this quickness that really the planets are giving us right now, it's important to have a certain path laid out or a certain sort of mission defined for what you want to move in a direction of this year. And it comes down to what you truly want with all sorts of aspects: relationships, partnerships, jobs, careers, family, all of it. So it's a big year. We learned a lot over the last astrological year, so we got to take that wisdom and put it into good use for us as we progress into this next astrological year. Nobody's perfect, right? We all can look back on the last year and say we could have done something a little different, or could have looked at facts in a little bit different way, or taken in information differently. Well, this is a great time to embody all that wisdom that you have taken in and to use it for your greatest benefit and the greatest gift, which is really your frequency this week. And I will jump into that as we go. It's definitely Venus in Taurus here is going to have us, slow down to try and see the beauty. It definitely brings up money, Venus in Taurus, and it definitely brings up your self-value and your self-worth. So a lot of where we're progressing into this week has a lot to do with the relationship you have to yourself, the relationship you have to what makes you feel good, to money, and of course to other people. But I think that often when it comes to relationships with other people, if we don't have a good relationship with self, those relationships with other people can be a little bit difficult or a little bit, hard to navigate when we start mixing in all of the other stuff. Right now, it's very personal. Aries, Taurus, Gemini. These are very close-knit energies. And even with Mars in the North Node in Gemini, it's about being able to express what you're defining, being able to express your identity, your truth, and what you value. If you're not a member on the website, I do these daily, go into the charts much deeper, much longer, give advice, pull cards. Please do become a member at fixedairmoon.com. If not, and you just like these weekly horoscopes on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're tuning in, truly appreciate you for joining me, and I'm glad that you are. All right, let's jump into the charts. This is pretty good stuff. This is all fast. Pluto is going to go retrograde on April 27th. So it's, we're not going to get all this. And Saturn's close behind, flipping retrograde. So we are about to start seeing some things slow down. Even Saturn and Pluto are slowing down, even though they are still moving fast. We are approaching some retrograde seasons and eclipse seasons, and there's a lot of big stuff coming. Look at the dignities real quick. This is with the moon in Taurus. I mean, powerful. And when that Venus comes into Taurus, I think it's going to move up to plus 10, maybe even plus 11. So we're going to see a very strong Venus again, kind of like we did in Pisces, where it's going to be Venus, trying to keep up with Saturn, which is at a plus 10 right now as well. Mercury and Mars sharing reception. So they have very high scores as well. Mercury, of course, in Mars' home sign of Aries, and Mars in Gemini's home sign of... in Mercury's home sign of Gemini. All right, Monday. Monday's all about, I would say, information. I think things are going to be coming in quick off that new moon energy, and that sun here at 23 degrees is definitely going to make us feel that. It's a very Gemini mercurial degree. That 23rd degree, it makes a 5. So there's definitely quick information. There's things that need to be acted on. We're going to have Venus and the moon meet up, and the moon's also going to square Pluto. We still have Venus square Pluto that we finished off on that new moon yesterday, or Sunday, if you will. So relationships and feelings, we're starting to see really what is meant for the long term, what was built to last, and what was holding on by a thread. And I think that today it becomes a little bit more obvious within our own bodies, within our own emotional states, of what are the long-term plans when it comes to relationships, money, finances, where are they going? And if they were wobbly, it was likely brought up this weekend and even today with the moon coming over that Venus and squaring Pluto. And then we get that moon coming into Taurus, so it's exalted. The sun's exalted. This is a great day. This is a great day. Like, even if things looked a little wobbly, how do you come back in and find your security? How do you come back in and find what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel good? Maybe even doing things in your world on a Monday to self-nurture, self-care, maybe a little retail therapy. Like, whatever it is that makes you feel truly, good and strong and grounded is very positive with the moon in Taurus. So I think that we'll be able to take care of ourselves. If we saw things a little wiggly, a little loose, we're able to get through it because we have this moon in Taurus, and it's going to help us know our value, know our worth to push forward and define. We're also going to have Mars and the sun in sextile. This is a great aspect. We have the sun in Mars' home sign of Aries. It is a very Martian day. It's very action oriented, and Mars is even at that very powerful 23rd degree of Gemini. So it's a very Martian and mercurial day where information is coming in and you want to act on it, but you want to act on what the information is that you value. Like, if you don't value it and you know within yourself that it's not going to bring you some sort of comfort or feel good or give you some sort of benefit in life, why is that part of your truth? I don't think it is, right? So you want to take in the information you're getting, ask your gut if it was right, if it feels good, and if it does, you want to move in that direction and be able to pivot. So it's a great day to make changes, to make pivots, and to illuminate what the heart really wants to define and move forward with. And relationships can come up big. Even when we look at relationships, Juno, the asteroid down here at 24 degrees, the sun's working on a sextile to Juno, and Juno and Jupiter, which are husband and wife, they are in sextile as well. And they have been, as Juno's in retrograde here. I think relationships are so important, and the people that we're surrounding ourselves with are so important as well. And it is that energy. We have Jupiter at 25 degrees, which is that 7 energy, that Neptune, that Pisces. It's at a very spiritual degree. So our spiritual frequency is such a gift right now. We want to raise that up and go in that direction. And with Mars working on the trine to that Jupiter, there's major gift when you're acting on what's going to raise and bring your spiritual frequency up, and connecting with people and being in relationships that have that common interest, that common belief system, if you will, even to go in a direction that you both value. Relationships are going to be very hard if there's a difference of values and a difference of beliefs, especially with the South Node in Sagittarius and Jupiter being the dispositor of that South Node. Like, it's very hard to connect on common ground right now. There's major gaps, and I think the North Node in Gemini is showing how wide a lot of gaps are when it comes to the collective and how we're feeling. So there is that energy. Mercury here is also at 16 degrees. So I think that, that's very 7-ish, very, 6 and 1 is a 7. This is definitely Piscean Neptune energy as well. So I would say that both the higher mind with Jupiter and the lower mind they're really tapping into what Spirit's nudging. So there's definitely a nudge of intuition that's coming through today to help you define what feels good to you and to make the changes. And you have to take the action to define and make those changes on what is best with your ego, your identity, your self-worth and value. And to put those in place as we start this week, I think that Monday's an amazing day. Like really an amazing day to, figure out the value. But again, if you're not putting, energy into the direction that you want to be in that does make you feel good or defines your path the way you want it to, it's like you can miss the boat with such good aspects. And of course, the sun is working on a sextile to that Jupiter as well. Venus coming off the sextile. There are gifts that are trying to come, but they're only going to come if you take action and define them with all the energy really pointing at that sun in Aries. So you need to illuminate from your heart, ask your gut, ask your heart what it really wants, and then listen to that answer and be willing to change to go into that higher frequency of love of self, doing what you actually want to do, because it's not selfish if you're doing what you want to do. It's actually better that way, especially when it comes to relationships, because if you're just going through the motions in relationships and you're not defining what actually you want, it's not good for your identity. It's not good for even the partner, because that's how resentment gets built, is by constantly doing something you don't want to do. And then all of a sudden there's that explosive energy. I'm just throwing that out there. There is great energy in Monday's chart, and you want to use it to your best benefit. And even Saturn at 12 degrees, it's all about sort of expanding our integrity within ourselves to go to a bigger and better frequency and to build the points in our life that are stable and sort of secure on that higher frequency, on that expansion. So where Saturn does want to restrict, I would say at this 12th degree, it's actually looking out much farther. And it's like, okay, well, I do need to have structure. I do need to have things sort of planned out here, but I need to also look into the future and innovate and make sure that my connections are right so that I'm innovating in a more futuristic and innovative, individuated as well space. As we come into Tuesday, we see that sun move to 24 degrees. We see Mercury move to 18. Mercury is ripping, by the way. Mercury hits 2 degrees a day. So we have a super fast Mercury. So our mind is really catching up to our heart, the sun, and how we're illuminating and expressing ourselves through that Aries and our identity and our ego, and where we're trying to push things. Where are things going to go, right? The ego, it wants to go. So I think we're understanding more where we want to go and how to get there. It is that 18th degree that it'll be at for a part of today, which is very Martian too. Very that 9 energy of, being able to complete cycles in our life as well as push forward onto new ones. So maybe we're understanding more. And when Jupiter at 24, this is very, it's a very Venus degree. So here we are in this place of like really coming into our self-worth and self-value. I think it's a strong relationship to self that we're feeling on Tuesday, but it doesn't just come with ease, because that moon is going to meet up with Uranus and square Saturn. So this is definitely shaking things up. This is a lot of electricity within how we want to feel good within ourselves. And it's like a major disconnection point that you're going to have all the insight find you, and it's going to feel very sort of all over the place emotionally. But really it's to find that, to find that value, to find that security within yourself, to know that maybe the world with this Uranus Saturn square that we're going to see all year, the world is going to go in crazy, weird, unpredictable directions, but do you have that stability and value within yourself to be able to handle whatever the outside world throws at you, because you have this sort of spiritual warrior essence? And I think even Jupiter at 25 degrees is like, look, making great aspects to the sun, 1 degree away, and Mars, and the sun and Mars are still in sextile. To really have that value of self to go and do the things that make you feel good, because in essence, high vibration is just about feeling good. and feeling good within yourself and connecting to energy that feels good about self. And then there's a mutual reception of how you feel good. So I think that especially Tuesday, it's learning how to feel really good within yourself in the midst of what's going on in the world right now. Is that affecting you in your own sort of environment, your own personal life? And it absolutely could be, depending on where you're at and where you have positioned yourself in life right now. So I'm not trying to say that if things outside in the world are affecting you, that's bad. That's not the case at all. It's just, how do you get through sort of a rocky boat, a rocky, sort of unstable place? Because Uranus in Taurus is an unstable physical world. But it's also how you can value life on your own individuated state. And especially with North Node and Mars in Gemini, it's about the community. It's about where you're positioned in your environment, and also being able to make quick changes and make good pivots. And the Sun and Mars are saying you can take action for any change you need in your life as long as you actually want it, as long as you desire it. And we got Venus at 28 degrees, going to come to 29 degrees. So it's getting really edgy and defined here in Aries of like, people are going to do whatever they want to feel good. So this is definitely a day where people are going to kind of do what they need to do to connect and feel good. You don't want to get tied up in whatever somebody else is doing and have it affect your world on Tuesday. I would say that would be like, worst case scenario is if you're letting other energy on Tuesday take you out of your sovereignty, your value, and a strong relationship to yourself and your ego and what you're trying to put out there into the world. Because Jupiter's actually trying to say, hey, look, we got to connect to our spiritual frequency, our individuality, and innovate right now. And that's going to open up doors, and we have to do it based on what our own self, Aries, wants. And it's not super complicated. It's actually just doing what you want. So you have to do what you want. A lot of Martian energy. It's a very Martian week. Even, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, lots of that Aries energy of just, go do it. You don't really need to overthink it unless cold hard facts come through that make you have to shift and pivot, which is great right now. If you can take information and make a quick change in your life, the more power I think that you'll ultimately be feeling. So that Venus at 28 is also very illuminated, very Sun, Leo degree. Got to do what makes your heart happy. What makes your heart happy will give you a lot of value and will show you a lot of creative insight within yourself, and a lot of what you truly value long term. Just you can't let the world kind of take you out of that space on Tuesday. We come to Wednesday, we get Venus's ingress into her home sign of Taurus. This is pretty amazing because Venus goes to plus 11 and beats out Saturn at plus 8. And we look at the scores. Moon's still in Taurus for this, and it will be coming into Gemini later on this Wednesday. Sun at plus 7. Mercury plus 8, just doing great here with the reception with Mars plus 5, and Jupiter plus 0. It does not get much better than this. Wednesday is an amazing day to slow down and focus on what you really want in life and what connections, what relationships really do matter that you want to kind of ground out. What are going to be the stable partnerships in life? And really, it's about the stable relationship within yourself and being able to ground and feel good within yourself so that you can make big moves, make big decisions that are going to give you the abundance you're looking for in the future. So money comes up big on Wednesday and throughout the next about Venus is going to be in Taurus. I don't have the exact date, but we have this Venus moving fast, going to minute 14. We're looking at about three weeks of Venus in Taurus here. So, and the Sun's going to join in. Things are going to slow down. It's going to slow down so that you can take more time to find out what you value. What do you really want? What do you want to hold on to in life? And what do you not? And all these squares to Pluto that we're about to get are going to show that very clearly. And how are you going to define where you're going in the future and sort of rise up with the power within yourself to move into new directions? We look at Pluto at 26 degrees, which it's going to be at until it goes retrograde on the 27th. This is that 28th degree of Capricorn is the granddaddy of all Capricorn energy. This is all of the long-term structures in our life that we've grown so accustomed to that are starting to get a complete reboot and overhaul with Pluto. So these squares are about our personal life, our identity, our ego, and are we able to let go of stuff that maybe we thought we had completely figured out within our own self, our own body, and look into a new direction as this big sort of spiritual upgrade is taking place within our own unique vibrations and within our own thoughts and how we're innovating and connecting to this physical world. And we get the moon square that Jupiter on this Wednesday as well. So I think we're challenging what beliefs and innovations are actually going to open up the doors to a better value of life. And I think it becomes very sort of apparent on this Wednesday of like, wow, what do I really want to slow down and build upon? And what is kind of toppling over and doesn't hold the value that it used to hold in my life any longer? And with the sun here at 25 degrees, that's another very spiritual degree, makes a 7. So I would say that, especially with the exact sextile to Jupiter and Mars getting closer to the exact sextile, which it will Thursday, Friday, this is all about your spiritual ego, taking that next level up of empowerment within yourself to not hold on to any sort of guilt from the past, but to accept vulnerabilities, especially with Chiron in Aries, which will move to 10 degrees, and Uranus will move to 10 degrees. There are spiritual vulnerabilities within our own egos right now that we want to have compassion for and to kind of release and let go so that we can really empower ourselves and move in a very positive direction and open doors within our own identity and individuality. So Wednesday is a huge day for really finding out what your spirit, what your soul really does want to hold on to and value in this world, in this life. And especially with the moon also sextile Neptune, there's absolutely a sensitivity in the air that signs are going to find you. Like God will be talking very loudly through a lot of signs, through a lot of physical things with the moon in Taurus as well. What is the physical world looking like? And is it reflecting sort of how you're feeling within yourself? And I'm speaking about environment, not necessarily just the world, because like I said when we started this, there are huge gaps out there all over the place that they're very wide right now, and you just kind of have to find out which side of the gap you really do want to be on and you really do value within your own self, because that's the best way forward, and to have compassion for and love for all things. So I think there's a major there's a lot of compassion in Wednesday's chart to really go into what you value, not judging other people, but just be solid within yourself about what your truth is. Thursday is a big day. That sun is going to square Pluto. This is a big point, both at 26 degrees. Mars is going to come to 26 degrees. Lots of 26s are going to be going down in the chart, which is very serious. That's a very serious degree. So I think we're starting to get very serious by Thursday about what the long term, what our future of even this whole year is. You know, it's going to really start to get defined on this last full week of Aries season. And you're going to see things in your life that you thought you knew everything about, or you thought were always solid, going to show up on time over and over again. Yeah, they're not showing up anymore. And is that tearing you down inside and making you feel like out of whack or not valuable or a lack thereof? If they are, these are great signs to show you how you can shift and grow within yourself to have a more powerful and sovereign identity, so that when you want to go forward in life, there aren't things outside of self taking you in a direction you don't want to go in. Like, I know we're all susceptible to what's going on in the world, but a lot of it is about kind of like mind over matter, especially with Mars sextile Jupiter, like within Gemini and Aquarius. Like, there are big upgrades taking place. If you can just mentally be a warrior and be strong, you can get through so much right now. If you're having, heavy energy come and find you this week, because I think that it's out there, but at the same time, Jupiter's backing it up, saying, look, as long as you're raising your vibration and doing what you want and connecting to energy that feels common and connected, this is good. You're going to start to see that you don't have to just slam the door on the old that might not be showing up anymore in your life, but that you can gently close the door and have compassion and love and understanding that you're just leveling up, and that's what's most important right now, is a big level up. That moon's going to come into Gemini. This definitely gets exciting. I would say Thursday, Friday are very intense days, kind of exciting, where you could see a lot of big changes take place. That moon's going to get really close to a trine to Saturn. Not quite on Thursday, but it is going to get very close. We'll see that early Friday morning. But Mars North Node, not comfortable. It's not comfortable, but it can be very stimulating and exciting. So it depends on how you like excitement in your life and how things are shifting and turning and what aspects are kind of toppling over. And are you willing to look in a new direction and act on your feet quick? That can make big plays, big things happen. For the long-term future, I think this is kind of getting down to like serious business when it's like, where is my identity trying to evolve and grow towards? I would say Thursday is a big day where it's like you open up an amazing gift into sort of this dharma path of like going into this full-on destiny point in life, or kind of feeling still kind of lost in a bunch of chaos that's going on in the world or even in your own personal life. And why is that chaos there? You can ask these questions. It's good with the moon in Gemini, Mars, North Node. Ask any questions that you may have, because you will get an answer through some shape or form. Whether you're asking a person, at least you'll get an answer. Maybe it's a yes or a no. Maybe it wasn't the answer you wanted, but hey, you got an answer. Now what do you do with that information? Or if you just want to ask God, Spirit, your guides, ask those questions. You will get signs. You will get information on how to manage this energy better and to see where these gifts are, because they might not be what you were expecting. Jupiter in Aquarius is not like your normal, ordinary, like Christmas gift. And with a South Node in Sag, it's not going to be what you believed it was going to be. That's not what you want. You want the exciting new. You want, some more concrete facts onto where are your beliefs right now? Do they have some concrete evidence behind them that you did the research for? I think that it's definitely one of those days where you're investigating, what is the real truth of what you need to feel good in life, and are you ready to pivot to a higher place or not for the long term. So Thursday's a big day as well, and with Mercury at 22 degrees, it's a very strange degree, and that's where the new moon happened. So it's very weird energy. It's an exciting day that does have abundance, that does have something great, especially with Mars, Jupiter in trine, and still making good aspects to the sun with this sextile triangle that we really get all week. And Mercury starts to, get a piece of that sextile to Jupiter as well. So, I think we're starting to understand unique and different, sort of big openings in our life of where we can kind of go, because the vibration's taking us there. And Jupiter's getting ready to move to 26 degrees, which definitely gets into that serious side. Let's go to Friday. We're going to see Jupiter at 26. Mars is going to come to 26. They're still in that sextile, that trine, and you can tell this is set for 11:30 a.m. on the west coast. The sun is still at 26 degrees, so the sun's in this place right now where it's getting half of each degree every day. So that's another aspect of time kind of feeling really fast. We're feeling the energy of the 25th degree on the same day that we're feeling the energy of the 26th degree. So we're getting these double days right now, which are very interesting. And I would say it's extremely interesting too, because Mercury is going to get into the mix at 24 degrees. So we're really in a place by Friday where it's time to get very serious about what you want and how you're going to get it. What do you want? And how are you going to get it? Ask yourself that question and move in that direction. It's such a powerful thing right now. Even just asking yourself is a powerful thing this week. You will find answers. If you are lost on what direction you want to move, if you know the direction you want to move, it's time to pursue. Get serious about it. Make a plan. That plan will pay off. it really will pay off, and it'll give you some concrete, grounded stability within that place. That moon is going to square off with Jupiter. Looks like Saturday morning. So let's go to Saturday's chart. The weekend gets pretty interesting. We're going to have the moon, Mars, not square, but sextile Jupiter. And then Venus is getting very close to Uranus, and then that sun at 27 degrees, very powerful degree in Aries. So this is one of the most powerful degrees, where this in Mercury, also sextile Jupiter, sextile Mars, and the moon in the morning. Friday is a big day, because I think it really shows you what you need to get down to business about moving forward. And then Saturday, it comes into a place of like really acting on that business plan for something amazing in your life that is going to expand the frequency, the connections in life, the groups of people, really, finding some sort of commonality and justice when it comes to what you want to build and create and where things are going and innovating. So I would say Saturday is an extremely important day for you to act on sort of all the wisdom that has come through, because Mercury and Jupiter in sextile is definitely your higher mind, your intuition, and your analytical mind. So it's right brain, left brain. They're on the same page, and they want to do what's best for you individually. So, and with the Sun and Mercury conjuncting on Sunday, this is where the mind has finally caught up to the heart. So instead of the heart just kind of really projecting out and, wanting to express, this is where the mind and the heart are very synced up. So you can be able to make very strong decisions based on how you're feeling, based on the information that you've seen throughout the week, to have the value with Venus and Taurus, to get all the things that you do want as we get ready for this Taurus season, where things are going to slow down, but you still want them to slow down so that you can focus on the ultimate values of life that you do want to define and move forward with. And that moon also, I forgot to mention, on Friday will square off with Neptune. So there's definitely more of that sort of divine intervention coming through, and it can feel foggy if you're not listening to the signs. You might feel lost and like, where am I going long term? Where are all these structures, and what do I want to build? Ask for them. I'm telling you, they will come. And Sunday we get the Mercury-Sun conjunction at 28 degrees. So very powerful, very Leo Sun degree of really having those defining conversations. That real soul expression is very powerful. You do have to remember that in Helio, this is the Earth in opposition to Mercury. So in a lot of ways, we are very far away from the mind, but it's coming through our heart. So whatever the heart wants, you want to express it, you want to define it. That's where the value's at. That's where it might take some courage. And I think it's a courageous day as we come to Sunday to really finish off this Aries season with some gusto for what you do want, what would make your heart happy, and to not live your life for someone else, to not live your life because you want to make other people happy. Yes, we want to make other people happy, but if you're sacrificing your own greatness and your own happiness, are you really doing yourself any favors? And are you even doing the other person favors? Because that won't last forever. It usually doesn't. It can, but it usually doesn't. Chiron comes to 10 degrees, and even Uranus will come to 10 degrees on this Sunday as well. So there's a lot of this big shift of Chiron and Uranus moving. So I think that some vulnerabilities within our own ego become a little bit more illuminated with this 10th degree. But, it's those vulnerabilities within ourselves that are actually some of our greatest gifts. And we want to grab that spiritual warrior, embrace what we may be vulnerable about, so that we can really move forward in positive, empowering places. And right now, our identity and our ego, if we can grab onto that in powerful and constructive ways, it's one of our greatest gifts that's going to illuminate and unlock so many things for us in our life. And with Uranus moving to 10 degrees, this is flashes of insight that we can really illuminate and create from. And it's almost like you really want to be in a place of your true value, your true individuated self, to have the insight to create in sort of this electric manner. It's all about connecting to a physical world that, you feel like makes sense. Like it's taking you to a better earth, a better reality, if you will. And that moon comes into Cancer, so, we get a really strong chart again this week. Moon +5, dignified. Sun +7. I mean, all pluses. Jupiter even, but still, it's powerful, and Venus is ruling the way. So how do you feel about your physical world is so important. Those feelings are going to help you define. So you do want to be open to receiving, but you also want to be very confident in the choices that you make right now. So I think a lot of it comes down to confidence in the choices that you're making for something better for yourself, and not questioning yourself, but being very strong and illuminated from the heart space. And that moon's going to square Chiron on this Sunday as well. So, we're going to be feeling our feelings deeply. Sorry, this cord doesn't like me right now. We're going to be feeling those wounds very, very deeply within ourselves, or within our ego, or whatever it may be. There's a vulnerability that we, really want to kind of become secure in with a moon in Cancer. Really know that whatever it is about ourselves is actually, we might not like, or we might not want to hold on to. You don't have to hold on to everything, but there are gifts in the vulnerabilities. And if you can really be secure within yourself and within your own emotional state, it's going to give you so much confidence to move forward with your greatest gifts and what you do value in this world. And of course, Mars and that Sun-Mercury conjunction will be in sextile, in reception. It's a great day, Sunday, to really take action and express what the heart wants. That's like everything. There's so much heart energy on Sunday that if your heart's guiding you in a direction that you want to go, but you're not going to have those talks or have those conversations or take action for it, you're going to feel like you missed out. And I don't want you guys to miss out. So you really want to go for these things that the heart desires, act on them, express them. Mars at 27 degrees is not messing around. It will change things up and drop and switch hats at the drop of a dime for something better. And it's extremely stimulated. So it's a pretty wild day with a lot of something has to come out. And Mercury's going to square Pluto. You're definitely getting to the bottom of exactly what you want and how do you express it. And you're also seeing and mentally understanding major structures in our reality, in your physical world, your environment, as well as in the world. What institutions in life are not going to be around much longer, and how much energy and thought do you really want to give those when you should be innovating all the new gifts and all the new sort of connections and innovations and stable, sort of places that you can connect to that aren't teeter-tottering and about to fall over. I think that's very important. I love you all very much. I do hope you enjoyed this video. It's an amazing week of astrology. I definitely point out some things that could come up that might be a little harder, but overall, this is the cream of the crop for how you define a life that you really want to value. And it's up to you to do it. No one's really going to do it for you. If you're looking out for help outside of self, yes, people can come in and help you. Absolutely, friends and stuff. But the big leaps and bounds are the ones about you connecting to the frequency you want to be on within yourself, really grounding in that energy, valuing it, valuing yourself, making that relationship to self so strong that you feel confident to do whatever it is that you want to do, and not wavering to live a life based on what somebody else wants for you or what the government wants for you, unless that's really what you want for yourself. And if that is, then define that, make it yours. I don't want to say there's a right or wrong way. I don't believe that's true. But this is about you making big choices for what you truly want, you and yourself alone. So I do hope that you enjoyed this horoscope, and I hope that you find a lot of empowerment to make whatever change for whatever structure in whatever relationship, be it self or others, that empowers you and gives you the confidence to really go after your gifts, to go after what you know you want this year, because that's what this year is all about. We got a huge lesson last year. Over that astrological year, class was really in session. With Saturn square Uranus all year, we're going to start to see these things, especially when these eclipses come and when these retrogrades hit. It's not going to look like it is now. So how do you find that stability and comfort within yourself to keep pushing for what you know is best in your life without getting lost in the chaos and the mess of this great split in the collective? I love you all so much. Have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Peace.